Hey yo, what's good? You know what it is? You back with another episode of No More Timeouts. You know you're rocking with your boy Rosh and JJ. You know what we're here to do, man. We're here to spill the tea, man. No sugar. You know what I'm saying?
What's good, bro? How you doing?
I'm alright, man. You know, football's here. You know what I'm saying? Got to see the first, little preseason game, and that shit was amazing. I had a good
Yeah,
time, had a cool weekend, had some friends over, watched the game. It was fun. But hey, at the end of the day, it was just honestly good that football's back. You know what I'm saying? I love to see it. We all love to see it. That's our pastime. And it felt great. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I had to glow a little bit, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Football on a Sunday afternoon, man. I'm ready for it. The fall with football every week, bro. This is what we like. So it's back officially.
Yes, baby. I can't believe it. I'm so happy. But man, hey, with that being said, man, what about you though? How you doing? What's good? You good?
I'm good, bro. I've been
All right.
just staying in the gym, locked in, but also trying to stay grinding on at the 9 to 5, and this is weekends are becoming a little more chill these days, but it's been fun. Uh, we got some guests today, man, and I want you to introduce them, but we got some good friends of ours that we wanted to bring on. Niner edition show. Some friends of ours that definitely know the game, and obviously with the Battle of the Bay, we wanted to save this episode for the Bay Area people with Raider and Niner talk, and this is the perfect week to do it.
Mm. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It feels amazing. Well, man, well, really, with no further ado, let's introduce the people that you get to see. I'm gonna introduce my friend, bro. Hey, I've been playing this school for a long time, man, since high school, man. Like I was a freshman, he was a junior. You know what I'm saying? One of the people that I looked up to. We used to hoop together, play basketball. It was a great time. Met this man. He was always a great man. And I just want to say, he has a video out right now. I know a lot of y'all know the man who made the song, the 49er Faithful, that I always love to hear. Not even gonna lie, it's a good song. Man, Travis King, man, how you doing, man?
What's up with y'all? How you doing?
Good to
Good,
see you,
good.
man. Good to see you, bro.
Yeah,
Uh,
thanks for having me on.
No doubt, no doubt. I gotta bring my guy Jasper in. Another guy we grew up with. Played a lot of basketball growing up with him. We got a mutual friend, Don, who's one of our guys. Played a lot of football in his time too. So I'm excited to see his input on what's going on with the Niners, all things Niners. He played a lot of wide receiver in his day. So would love to hear what's going on, especially with this quarterback situation. So we're gonna get into all that. But I appreciate you joining me, bro.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. I've been itching to get back and just shoot the shit and talk about all this content that's writing itself every day, man. So, I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of good discussions going on in the next hour and a half or so.
Yeah, y'all been giving us a lot of content, man. These Niners are a lot of storylines with the quarterback, with everything going on. So we're gonna get all into that. I think we want to start with a quick NBA update, real quick, before we get into it. There's two stories. Obviously, one I want to hear about is James Harden. James Harden is in China right now on a tour, and he said he will not play for any team that Daryl Morey is in charge of. He said, "I repeat, I will not play for any team that Daryl Morey is in charge of." Crazy situation. He's been wanting to get out for all summer. So, what's your thoughts on that?
Bro, I feel like the stories with James Harden over the years just get wilder and wilder. Like it just gets crazier and crazier every offseason. It's like something like he's never happy, and it's always something that he picks out, and it doesn't make sense. You know what I'm saying? And it's like for you to do that now that the NBA even kind of allows that. Like, because I remember back in the day, you say something like that, you kind of somebody would say something to you, or you would have to talk to the commissioner or something. But people just openly talk about commissioners and things like that. And I don't think it's cool. But honestly, I don't. You know what he's doing? He's just trying to get his way out, trying to force his way out. That's really just what it is. And he's taking all chances he can to take the shots at the people that run the organization over there in Philly. But
Yeah, I just
you
I
know,
just don't see what the next team would want to trade for him. If you're gonna blow up this team, you're blowing up the Nets, you blew up the Rockets, and now you're trying to blow up the Sixers. Like, why would you go trade any value for him at this point. But if you know, like in a year or two, he's going to be upset and want another trade. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I think he's burning a lot of bridges with this right now.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that too, and then I got some information, more information about it. I think the context behind what he said was, I mean, allegedly, Maury offered him. He took a pay cut last year.
Behind closed doors deal. Yeah.
Exactly, and so then Maury, he's not holding up his end, and he said he was going to kick it back to him, basically on the back end. And back ends come, and he hasn't kicked it back to him. So that's nasty work on Maury's part. So at the end of the day, I kind of understand where James is coming from. But to your point, Shad, I mean, how many times is he going to do this? Like,
Yeah, that's
Maury.
that's my whole thing. You know what I'm saying? I understand what you're saying. I definitely understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
I understood that part when I heard it.
Right, and
It's
that's
like-
and he's messed with Maury the long way for a while. So if that is the issue, y'all got to handle that closed doors and to air him out. On his tour, like you said, he's just trying to do it, manipulate the situation, and basically get out in front of it and see his way out, like he's tried to do. And to your point, Jay, like at this point of his career, like he's not who he was anyway. So like, what kind of compensation package are you even really going to get for an aging Harden at this point? It's a bad look on all phases.
I just can't see another team really wanting him for being such a drama queen. Like, who wants to trade for that?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, LA, they got two superstars. I just don't see giving up Terrence Mann or anybody like that to bring him into that. So we'll see, man. I think this is going to go on into the season. Last thing on NBA, we got the USA basketball team traveling for the World Cup right now. Just defeated Spain and Slovenia. They're rocking right now. But do you feel like they got everything they need to bring in the title?
I feel like honestly at this point when it comes to USA basketball versus the world, like it's kind of like any good all-stars, can take us there. Like we're built for this. Man, like it's like remember we talked about the last episode. Over there overseas, why the soccer teams are so good because they're built for that. You know what I'm saying? We're built for this. We're built for this. This is our sport. Basketball it was made here. That's what we're built for. So, I think the team as a whole is good. Jalen Brunson had an amazing performance. That first game and went 9 for 9 for 22. Didn't miss a shot. Like that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So honestly, just to see them play good and I'm happy. They're rocking for the home country. At the end of the day, no matter what jersey they wear in the NBA, it's good to see them all willing to participate in this. Because sometimes they can get an injury and risk something in their career, but they do it, and I like it. So, I think we're gonna be good.
The only thing I want to add is I think for the All-Star game, I think we should change it to USA versus the world. I think that would be really dope. I think they got enough players to do a USA versus the world in the All-Star game. That's the only thing I want to add.
Dope.
That would be dope. I think we can. Yeah.
It would.
Yeah.
I got one for the All-Star game. So they need to go back to the OG uniforms too, bro.
The stars?
East and West. Nah, not even that. East and West. Let them wear their home and away.
Let their own uniform.
For all sports.
That would be way
baseball
better.
too. Like,
That shit used to be clean.
Like, I damn near don't know most of the players out. Anyway, when you got whoever, they always wear the colors of like where stadium they're at. Like, bro, like you're doing yourself a favor, bro. Like, I want to know who's on the Giants, who's on the Yankees or the rest. Like, who are these dudes, bro? Like, what are they wearing right now? So, I feel like all sports do themselves a favor, and like for just marketing purposes alone, and just notoriety of the person's name, like get the jerseys, like let them just wear their jerseys, bro. Especially don't you want to also sell those jerseys? But I know it's a money thing too, because also Nike makes specific All-Star jerseys that they also sell. But I just think just for dudes who grew up in the '90s, just nostalgic. Like I just want to see the cats just rock their music like they used to back in the day. Keep it simple.
Yeah, definitely.
So
I definitely feel that.
Yeah. So getting into this Niner talk, man, there's a lot to cover. A lot here. Travis, I want to start with you, man. You have this 49er Faithful song that took off. I want to just hear how it came about and how it got started and how's it been making that song and just where it took you from there.
I used to do music a long time ago, from the age I was, let's say, 10 years old till about 22, 23. And then I just quit cold turkey. I stopped doing it. I had a song on the radio on pop stations and everything. And I just the music business, the industry is crazy. We won't get into that. So I stopped. I didn't do music for hella long. And then in 2019, when the Niners were going into the playoffs, we were the number one seed. I had an itch to just make a song. And so because I'm such an avid and diehard Niner fan, I was like, you know what, just for fun, I'm gonna dust off the mic and record a record. And my roommate DJ Maniacal, I was like, yo, what's the hottest beat, what's the hottest song in the world right now smacking in the club? And at the time it was Roddy Ricch Ballin'. So I was like, all right. I went on YouTube, ripped the beat, and literally within like 20 minutes, I had the hook and half the verse down. And I went to work, came back that night, like 3 o'clock in the morning, added a little bit more to it, woke up the next morning, and I just threw it up on YouTube for my homies and I. Like, no intent to, you know, try to get recognition off it or get some clout, nothing. I just threw it up on YouTube, and within like 72 hours, it had like 80,000 plays with no promotion, no marketing. And it was just going crazy. And when my best friend Jason seen the numbers, he had been trying to get me to get back into music, and I was like, nah, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So when this went crazy, he was like, bro, you got to shoot a video. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like, no, I don't want to do music no more. Like, it's not happening. And he baited me. He was like, he baited me. He's like, if I buy you tickets to the Niners and Packers NFC Championship game, will you shoot a video? I was like, if you give me front row, and I'm saying this just joking around because front row tickets is like 2 bands, 2,500. And he was like, done. I was like, oh no, I gotta really do this now.
Video. You got to get a video.
Yeah. So he paid for my ticket, and he paid for the videographer. Drexley, he's like super famous and major now, all over social media for these one shots that he does. But anyways, long story short, we get to Levi's when we playing the Packers. It was a Sunday night game. Yeah. We get there at like 1 o'clock, and on our way to Levi's, Jerry Rice posted the song on his Instagram. Like, we're in the whip smashing there, and so we go crazy. Like, what? This is insane. And when we hop out the whip when we get into the parking lot, and I'm just standing there as soon as I get out the car, and you can hear my song playing at like literally like 10 different tailgates simultaneously. I'm like, bro, this is nuts. It's nuts. No one knows who I look like because I just posted a picture on YouTube. There's no image of me. It's just a picture of Levi's that just says 49er faithful. So we're walking around, I'm bobbing my head. I'm like, yo, this is dope. Everyone's, like, what the fuck is this white dude just standing here looking at us? And then my roommate, the DJ Maniacal, they start telling people like, yo, this is him. And then it just goes crazy. The videographer pulls out the camera. We're getting all this like live footage that's, it's like a guerrilla shoot, like no schedule, no notes. Like, we just running and gunning. And we ended up winning that game, and then we went off to the Super Bowl, obviously in Miami, and the Niners were pumping it up, and then they played it at the Super Bowl, and I don't know, man, it just went crazy, and I've been kind of just riding the vibe ever since. But there's not too much thought put into it. It was just great timing. It was a good song, good timing, and just organic. And here we are today. Now the Niners bring me out to their events, and I perform live, and it's dope.
It's special because it's your favorite team too. You know what I mean? It's not just for just some one-off team. This is your team, and for them to show love back for a song that you put out, like, that's really dope on their way to the Super Bowl. That's dope.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that is cool, man.
So I'm gonna go just kind of take you guys back to last season. We'll start from there. A lot went on. You guys started the year out 3-4. Obviously, Trey Lance started the season as your guys' quarterback. He goes down pretty early in the season, breaks his ankle. He was handed. I couldn't say he won the job, but he was handed the starting position over Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy G gets hurt, and he's down. Brock Purdy, the 7th round pick, last pick of the draft, comes in, and wins 5 games in a row to the end of the season, and you guys get into the playoffs and takes you guys to the NFC Championship game. Obviously, we all know what happened in the NFC Championship game. There was, injury after injury. He goes down. He's not even able to throw a football in the game. Josh Johnson comes in. He gets hurt. So just a lot, man. So just take me back, how you guys are feeling on that run with Purdy all the way up to the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, wild season last year. So I'm gonna go back even further. Like as a Niner fan and diehard Niner fan myself, as far as I'm just gonna go back to the Kyle Shanahan beginning of the Kyle Shanahan regime, and like it's wild that we're in year 7 and year 8, and they still don't have like a quarterback. Like it's nuts. Like I still like this for real. Like I live in LA now, so I damn near need to pitch this to somebody because this can be a fucking movie. Like this literally should be a 30 for 30 some shit. Because I've never seen anything like this. You could look through the history books or just like anything that can go wrong with the quarterback situation. The Niners have dealt with. So, like you said, like this content that they've been going through. It's not just this season. Literally since Kyle Shanahan got here, like through the Hoyers, through the whoever else they had in, right before Jimmy. I forgot. There was a few other guys that were there before Jimmy. But Jimmy comes kind of similar to this situation. Jimmy wins, comes in for a 1-10 team, wins 5 games in the season, and then they kind of just give him back immediately, just for like save us, Jimmy. And then he goes down next year. Then it's another QB shuffle, and then it's your Mullins, it's your CJ Beathard, it's Kyle's kind of back to just making shit happen with nothing. You know what I mean? And you could see the offense just needs a quarterback and just kind of needs somebody to deal to the playmakers and let them do the thing. That was Kittle's breakout year. I think his second year was rookie year when he broke the tight end receiving record, which Kelsey ended up breaking, a few years later anyway. But you could kind of see what Kyle had. All Kyle really needed was a pseudo game manager, but somebody who's just not going to turn the ball over, get the ball to the playmakers, let them pretty much do the rest. Which, when Jimmy's been upright, Jimmy's technically been able to do that for a certain point, for the good amount of the time that he was with the Niners. And obviously, we'll get to that later with your, is it the system or is it Jimmy thing? Now he's with the Raiders. But so now you fast forward, they felt like they couldn't really get over the hump, so they trade all the picks to go get Trey Lance. He's now the savior. They're kind of trying to usher Jimmy out. And then, like you said, they kind of handed the job to Trey before he really earned it, just because they invested so much in him. Now we have to see what he can do.
Yeah.
The last year happens, Mr. Irrelevant, did what he did, beat out Nate Sudfeld to even be on the team in the first place. You know what I'm saying? Last pick of the draft. And now he's playing. And at that point, when he goes down, you're thinking as a fan, the season's over. Like you're not, where are we going to sign Baker Mayfield? I remember cats were screaming for Baker Mayfield and like Phillip Rivers out of retirement. Like these are all real possibilities.
Shanahan came out a couple weeks ago and said, if y'all make this,
that was actually true. Yeah,
he was calling Phillip Rivers.
And that's all, and all that's even happening because this team has been so close and has been literally knocking on the doorstep since you can go back to 2011, 2012 with the Ravens, and they lost to the Ravens in the Super Bowl. Like this team has been there. The year after that, lost to the Seahawks. Like as a Niner fan, like we've kind of been through it. Like a lot of people think they got it made, but there's been a lot of just heartbreak and just been so close right there. And I think the common denominator is they just haven't had that quarterback to get them over the hump. So now you enter Brock Purdy, then he goes down, and so it's like this ride that they've been on. It's unprecedented because this team is stacked. Like this team, every position, just about, which I think we'll talk about later. But some of their additions this year, I mean, they're loaded everywhere. And me personally. I like Brock. I think Brock can get it done. I think Brock showed what he could do. I think he also showed the flaw in the scouting department and how guys slip through the cracks. Because Brock Purdy showed in college he can play this game at a high level and should have never lasted to the 7th round. But just because Go ahead,
I,
Rod.
yeah, not to interrupt you. The only thing I would say, just period, about the whole situation, I think when you're talking about those two, I think the thing about it is Trey Lance, like I said earlier, he was expected to come in and be a superstar for what they gave up for him, right? Expected to come and be in that new style, game breaking quarterback that everybody loves, everybody has, and so they didn't coach him up as much as they coached Brock. Because knowing that Brock is the 7th round pick that they have on their roster to play quarterback, and in the games that he had to play, they were all big games going down the stretch. Like when you guys were where you were, you pretty much had to win everything to get to first place. And it was like at that point, you're gonna coach him up like crazy. And I feel like they didn't do that for Trey. So that's the only thing. Like for me, like I feel like this is not fair, but
I wouldn't say that. It's just you also got to understand though. Brock played Big 12 football. Like Brock played in some big games. Like he played against Oklahoma. He played he played some big boy games. Like Trey never had none of that. Like not even anything close. So it's like it didn't surprise me. Matter of fact, when Jimmy went down and people were screaming for Baker Mayfield, like, and I was like, nah, I'm gonna rock with Brock. I'm gonna go off the strength of he made the team out of camp to be even in a QB room at the end of training camp. You've done something right, and you can play. So I was always on, not even just to pat myself on the back, like I was just on board with, nah, we're gonna rock with it. He knows the offense. Like he's played in big games. Like he went to Iowa State. Like that's playing big games like all the time, like on the road. Like look at his numbers. Like he was also like Mr. Football in Arizona. Like they produce out there. So
Yeah,
it's like
he was definitely
he's just small. Like he's just not a big dude. He's not very fast. He's not gonna wow you with any of his tangibles, but the dude can just play. He has it. You know what I mean? So once I didn't surprise me when I saw him making the simple plays, making the simple reads, taking what's there, which is why I have confidence in him. Provided he can be healthy, I have confidence in him to get it done. But personally, like again, you know what I mean? I'm 37. I haven't seen my team win since '94, bro. Like I was of the mindset of don't fuck around with this. This window is small, bro. Like I've seen 2 Niner regimes not make it. This second one, and then the Harbaugh generation, the Harbaugh iteration, like of these teams, not make it because they don't have. You put Aaron Rodgers on this team, bro. This team, who's beating?
Yeah.
Like they are literally an Aaron Rodgers away. Like I'm watching Hard Knocks and I'm sick to my stomach. Like why did the Jets have Aaron Rodgers? Like I've been saying they should have got Aaron Rodgers 2-3 different times, bro. Brady too. Brady would have won a Super Bowl. Like I've been of that mindset, and I think that's all this team is missing, man. And I really hope Brock can be that. I know this was a long-winded answer to what you asked, but
you're good. You're good. Three out of 4 NFC Championship games. I mean, you guys are right there knocking on the door. I mean,
that's it.
That's crazy, bro. Like you guys, and I am worried that the window might be, not as open as it used to be, right?
And a lot of things, and the last thing I'll say about the QB situation is I think a lot of people also forget about and don't talk about, maybe just outside looking in, maybe Niner fans do more than I've heard, but I think a lot of people forget Trey Lance was like plan C. They literally had a trade for Matt Stafford. That was going to happen.
We're gonna get into that. Yeah, we're gonna get into that.
Exactly. And the Rams pulled the rug on that. Then plan B was Deshaun Watson. And then everything family. Like they had like all those picks. I swear, if Shanahan writes a book 20 years from now, I guarantee you it's gonna come out. Those picks that they ended up trading for Trey Lance to get up to 3 were for Deshaun Watson. Like I don't have any sort. I don't know that for a fact, but I would assume that that's what it was. And then everything started to come out about his suspension and all the shit he had. You know what I mean? Like they had to go to plan C. Plan C was, all right, there's all these quarterbacks coming out. This is a stacked class. Let's not get like what he said. He said, I don't want to get left at the altar again. Like they didn't want to get stuck with Jimmy, knowing he's not the dude to get us over the hump. We have to do something. And that's how they ended up with Trey. Whether you said they wanted Mac or we can get into that, like that's a whole nother talk. So that's a whole nother debate. But I don't think plan C was going to be to draft one of those quarterbacks. Plan A was Matthew Stafford. Like that is a fact. Like, and then McVay, McVay, did what he did. Cancun or whatever. And because they had a deal already. And then the Rams snuck him. You know what I mean? So
Trust me, hey, trust me. We know there's a bunch of stories, but we gonna get into that. Don't trip. Let's
Exactly.
move on
But
to the next
yeah,
topic, man.
man,
I know you passionate. We know you
You
passionate,
passionate,
dog.
brother.
It's
I get
good.
it. I get
It's
it.
good. It's
I get
yeah.
good.
it.
But
Oh, I've
we got a
been
lot more to
waiting to
talk
give you the
about.
script,
Yeah,
man.
we got
I've
a
been
lot more.
waiting to
We
give
got a
you the
lot more to
script.
talk
We
about.
got it.
You know what I'm saying?
So off-season moves, man. You guys lost Jimmy Ward. You lost Robbie Gold, and I feel like the Robbie Gold situation is actually a big storyline coming into the year. It already showed up in the first preseason game. You guys moved up. I think it was the third round. You guys took a kicker, but you did get Hargraves from the Eagles to help out your defensive line. You guys do have one of the best defensive lines in the entire league. Sam Darnold comes in, which is another another story, another chapter in this whole quarterback situation.
Right.
Travis, man, what you think? What you think about the offseason moves and what took place in the offseason?
I was sad to get rid of Jimmy Ward. I was a big Jimmy Ward fan. Such a Swiss Army knife, can literally play any position on the defense except for the D line. So I was very sad for that, but I understood. Jimmy wanted to get paid. The Niners have arguably the most star-studded roster, so money needs to be delegated in other areas. Jimmy Ward's 30. He got injured twice last year, so from a business aspect, I understood it. Now, as far as Robbie Gold goes, if you remember to the beginning of last season, he held out and he forced his way to get paid more. And I think that the Niners took that personally. I don't think they were expecting that. And they were forced into a corner that they didn't want to be in. And they had to pay the piper in order to get the leg back. And he also got injured last season as well. And, Robbie Gold is one of the oldest kickers in the game. So, still very effective. I'm very shocked that he is not on a team. That's
Yeah,
surprising to me. But nonetheless, I think that the Niners took it personal and decided that they're going to go into the draft and get someone young that they can pay a fraction of the cost for. Now, was that the right decision? I'm not going to advocate one or the other because we haven't seen, what Jake Moody can do besides missing, a couple field goals in a preseason game because he's nervous as hell. I'm not going to hold that on him yet. So I think it's too soon in the season to advocate which if it was a right decision to let Robbie go or not. So
so I also think the offseason moves we got to talk about Bosa. Obviously, he's holding out in camp right now. He deserves top dollar, but um, do they pay him? Is that something you guys are concerned about right now? Obviously, a lot of you see Zach Martin from the Cowboys just ended his holdout, so a lot of guys are starting to come to camp. They don't really want to be there
Exactly.
4 or 5 weeks into camp. So are you guys worried about that at all?
Nah, not with Bosa,
I,
especially the way
I,
he trains with his dad and his brother. He's good as far as being in shape. He'll be ready to go. I'm not worried about
But
that
you
at
got to
all.
think about the money that you guys have into your team, though. Like that's a big thing. Like you guys have a lot of superstars, and they all are. I respect it, bro. Like the one thing about me, you know what I'm saying? Maybe Raiders and Niner fans, but I respect good football, and you guys play good football. You know what I'm saying? And so I see it. So having that many superstars, they're all going to demand money, and that's like kind of where it sucks for the whole falling off part. Because if you pay that whole defense, it's like who else are you going to be able to bring in or keep on offense? You know what I'm saying? Because pretty soon everybody's going to need to be paid. Like now, and adding Christian McCaffrey, like how big of a contract he's gonna want when it comes time, like bro, that it's just crazy. It's like it's kind of like the same thing how with the Warriors with us when we had all those superstars, we was paying luxury tax after luxury tax after luxury tax. You know what I'm saying? So it
hey,
was
but
like
check it out.
it's like it's crazy
That's
as
why you
shit.
need Brock Purdy to be the starting quarterback, getting paid $900,000 a year.
Exactly, and
Yeah, that's
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 why
for real. I respect that.
the
Niners
I
have the
question.
respect that.
cheapest
You know what I'm saying?
quarterback room in the entire NFL, and it's by design.
Yeah. But that's the Shanahan way. But sometimes, at the end of the day, to win the Super Bowl, you need a superstar. Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Like there's not a lot of teams that's got it done. There's some teams out there that's got it done with mediocre quarterbacks, but not a lot. You can't name a lot. Like every team had somebody elite at the quarterback position when they won a championship. Even dating back to the old days, the old years. The Kansas Stabler years. The times when people really had those passion come quarterbacks. Joe Montana when you guys had him. You know what I'm saying? Even Steve Young when y'all had him. You know what I'm saying? Just back in those days. I'll give y'all credit with that. You know what I'm saying? You had to have a quarterback that was special to be able to win these games. And I think that's the thing that is starting to show proof with the whole Shanahan system. You know what I'm saying? It's great. It's amazing. Look, it's all glitz and glamour. It's beautiful. But when it comes down to it, every time in the championship, that team is going to be special. You know what I'm saying? Any championship that you make it to, the NFC, the NFC championship, or the Super Bowl, that other team on the other side of that ball is going to be special. And at the end of the day, that quarterback has to be special. That too. And it's like, that's just kind of what it is. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to watch, and I feel it. You know what I'm saying? I've never really been the one to poke fun. I'm the one to defend my team. But it's like, when I see good football, I see good football. But I'll admit to when I don't. But I think it's just going to be hard to hold the whole team together for you guys with the contracts that is going to be asked for by how talented you guys have been drafting. Like, and I'll be honest with that. You know what I'm saying? So,
most people are paid outside of Bosa and Brandon Ayuk. Those are the only contracts on the horizon.
Debo's paid, McCaffrey's paid, Kittle's paid, Warner's paid.
Everybody's paid.
Yeah, if you look at a lot of the teams that are successful, they do make moves when it's a rookie contract for quarterback, right? So if Brock Purdy can hold it down and they pay everybody else around him, like, it could work out. So there's still a window for you guys.
That's Shanahan's ace in the hole. Like, that's what he needs for this regime.
He needs that.
For them to have, for him to not to have blowback on the Trey Lance pick. He has to. He has to work. It has to work out for that very reason, for the contract situation. You got Trey Lance on the cheap deal right now, but he's not your quarterback. You know what I'm saying?
I said that to one of my friends earlier. The same thing for Kyle Shanahan to keep his name. That this Brock Purdy has to work. You know what I'm saying? So hey, we'll see. You know what I'm saying? We'll see.
So as a Raider fan, man, I gotta get your guys' insight on Jimmy G. Obviously, we haven't seen him yet in silver and black, but he was really successful for you guys. You guys had a love-hate relationship. You know, I got friends that are Niner fans. There was a lot of, Jimmy throws, what you guys call it, Jimmy throws, where he just throws it up like it's like it's SF7 up in the backyard. And then sometimes he just looks like he don't want the ball, and he's like, I'm about to just throw this up. So there's a lot of frustration with Jimmy G. Is it the Shanahan system that really put him in a good position, or is it because somebody was winning these games at the end of the day? He took you guys to a Super Bowl. He took you to.
He did not. Don't say that.
Hold on.
He did not do anything, but he's the kid in the group. He just participated, but he didn't do nothing.
Oh, all right.
Hey, at the end of the day, wait, time out. But at the end of the day, if your receivers and your tight ends are getting yards, somebody has to throw them the ball.
Let me ask you a question. You ready? If you have an average quarterback, do you rush the ball more than any team in the NFL?
Well,
would you do that? If you have an elite quarterback, are you rushing the ball 60 times a game?
No, you have an elite quarterback.
If you have an elite quarterback, do you give up 3 first-round draft picks trying to draft another quarterback after you just went to the NFC Championship game?
That's what Shanahan does. He's the type of person that falls in with a new car every fucking 3 years.
Oh, I watched.
He drafted. He turned around. He drafted RG3 and Kirk Cousins, and then Kirk Cousins took over. Even though RG3 got hurt, he never wanted Cousins more.
He never wanted
RG3. But that's what I'm saying. It always happens. You know what I'm saying? He's like, I want both. At the end of the day, you can't make a choice.
I gotta hear both of y'all. Go ahead. I want to hear both of y'all.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, Jimmy G. He's a handsome looking guy. And he's definitely someone who you want standing at the podium because he says the right things. And it's been said he's got great locker room presence and he knows how to control the huddle. But at the end of the day, when you are in clutch situations, I can't tell you. I could count him on both hands and my feet how many times he's been such a liability in the fourth quarter when we're up by 14 points and he throws a bonehead interception at a linebacker who didn't even move more than 2 steps. Like, we almost lost last year to Dallas because of his interceptions. We almost lost the year before last year. And I was at that game, and we
should have beat them like 30-1. We were blown out. They dominated Dallas that entire game.
And then last year with Jimmy G, with this star-studded offense, we averaged 17 points a game. And then the rookie, the last pick in the draft, Mr. I've never played a game in the NFL, averaged 30 points a game with the same roster as Jimmy G. Like, what are we talking about?
Jack, did you know that the Niners had the most double-digit wins in the NFL last year? Like, by, I think of something, it was crazy. Like 10 or 11 games or something by double digits. Most in the NFL. Like, big, more than
let's also, let me ask you this question, though. Are we going to put this all on the kid or that defense? Because let's be honest, y'all defensive line is so hard to deal with. That
if you go watch the 22
when you literally have to deal with a short field all the time, of course you're gonna be successful.
Nah, bro.
Regardless of how it is. You know what I'm saying?
And you watch the nuances and you watch the way Jimmy G move, he's a statue back there. The guy can't
we know that.
Anything.
Trust me, I know. You think I wanted this? You think I wanted y'all? You think I wanted y'all leftovers?
So hey, check this out. I'm gonna give you a prediction right now. Your boy Devontae Adams, arguably the best wide receiver in the league. He's going to be running around on that field wide open. And your boy Jimmy G is going to throw a duck or take a sack. And Devontae Adams is going to walk out the field. By week 6, he's going to be demanding a trade. Like, what would bro?
Jack, I'm going to say this. I'll say this, Jack, about Jimmy. I am worried about Devontae's production for sure. So fantasy-wise, I'm worried about Devontae's production because Jimmy is what Jimmy can do. Because Brock's pretty similar in that sense. Like, he's going to excel between the hashes. He's going to hit the quick throws. He's going to do the slants, the in routes. He can hit those. The outs. It's outside the numbers. Like I saw a report like when he first, I don't know if it was minicamp. Nah, it wasn't minicamp because he didn't practice in minicamp, right? He had to fail physical or whatever. So it had to have been training camp. I saw the report where some Raider reporters were like, "Oh yeah, Jimmy, his deep balls, are struggling," and I was like, "So who's gonna fucking tell him? Like who's gonna tell y'all like?"
He ain't never had a deep ball.
He doesn't have that. Like that's literally not in his bag. Like he doesn't have it.
I think
so. Like Devontae,
is y'all really think we wanted this?
The back shoulder, right?
Like
so the 10-15 yard in routes, out routes. That's his go-to.
That's his
go. He can't throw deep.
That is his money, but even doing that, he's going to throw an interception at a linebacker who didn't move since he called hike. You're gonna get some of those, and you're gonna be like, bro, what the were you?
One read, he locks in. He'll lock in a lot. He'll lock in on one guy, whether that guy's open or not.
And he panics, bro. He panics.
Okay. All right. Well,
I'm gonna let y'all know.
I'm
gonna let y'all know.
O'Connell.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. You guys start that guy.
He might have something
like little Tom Brady.
Is that what we doing? We asking for Aiden O'Connell already? Is that what we're doing?
Hey, wait.
When he looked against us, he was throwing the ball before wide receivers were breaking through their routes. And when the wide receiver got to the point, it was right on the chest. Like that. Yes. That looks like he looks like y'all Brock Purdy.
I'm gonna remember this.
Hey, you know what I said? You know what I said? I'm taking for Caleb. I don't care who played quarterback at this point.
Hey man, he did look good.
Jacobs come back. Jimmy G's gonna have to hand that ball off 60 times a game.
I want to lose. Okay. Give me Caleb Williams, man.
So I gotta ask something else. So Trey did start the season last year as a starter, and he did go down, and time moves so quick, bro. Like they've already moved on to Brock Purdy. They look like they got their franchise quarterback. He did start this first preseason game, which we'll talk about more in depth. But I wanted to ask about just how you guys are feeling about Trey. Obviously, it was a small sample size in one game with not his starting offensive line, but also, last year it was a game and a half. His first game was in the rain versus Chicago.
That game don't even count, man.
Yeah,
it was against the Bears was a monsoon. That game does not even count.
So
that game was keep it real to remind you when you was a kid, though.
Yeah, that was So how are you guys feeling about Trey, man? Is it I mean, I'm hearing some stuff like if you listen to Greg Papa, and I feel like he has some inside information, to be honest with you, that he's in line to be battling for QB3. And I've said on multiple times on this podcast, I do not feel like he's going to be on your team week 1. I just don't feel like it. I feel like he's too expensive to be on the roster if he's not suiting up for a game on game day. But what do you guys feel? I'm gonna let you guys get to it because that's your team. But what do you guys think?
Well, as far as Trey, after like I said, I watched the film and I watched part of that, his first few series is, which again, this game, it didn't matter. The score, it's never as bad as it looks, and it's never as good as it looks. That's what I learned about football. And once it got out of hand, it was a really weird game. First of all, the Raiders, hats off to the Raiders. They were ready. They had kicked our ass in the two joint scrimmages from all the things that I read and some of the videos, and like it sounded like the Raiders kind of had their way from on the offensive line and D line. So in the trenches, they were already winning the battles. It was kind of a perfect storm for Trey Lance not to succeed. One, I didn't like Kyle Shanahan's scripted plays to start him off for one. First game in like 360 days since he snapped his ankle. He's got him not even taking any drops. Like his first few series is like, bro was just not even in a 3-step drop. He was trying to start the game off with Trey reading quick reads and trying to dissect what the Raiders were doing, which to this point, if he hasn't played a lot, that's not going to be one of his strengths. They didn't really try to run the ball to set up the pass, which traditionally is literally Kyle's offense, is run to set up the pass. He tried to just come out throwing, which I didn't think did Trey Lance any favors. Trey Lance also wasn't doing himself favors because he wasn't seeing the field and making the correct reads. There was a play, I think, on the second drive of the first drive where he's got a guy in motion. He doesn't even realize it's zone. It's clearly zone because nobody's following the receiver. I think he wants to throw the out, which he shouldn't have thrown the out. He probably should have threw the go because they were sitting in cover two. He pumps, he gets sacked again. He got sacked multiple times. Part of it was his line was terrible and everybody was getting whooped and he had pressure on him immediately. And the other part is, again, he's not reading and seeing things. You're not reading and seeing things because of Rashad, what I was telling you earlier, is he doesn't have the reps, the muscle memory, bro. Like, as the game went on and he started to just kind of be able to play and Kyle started to get him on the move more, he started to have a little bit of rhythm, a little bit of confidence. Obviously, the touchdown he threw was fluke. It was a ball he shouldn't have thrown. But at that point, he got some confidence. Yeah, he got some confidence and he wanted to throw the ball. So he set his feet and threw the ball as hard as he could and he got lucky. And that's what ends up happening. Sometimes it be like that. But also,
that's exactly how it goes with what I told you. They expect him to come in and be some gunslinging superstar. That's what they drafted him for. But when it come to Purdy, what did they do? Well, they turned around and handed the goddamn ball off 3 or 4 times. He always getting 20 yards and then turned around and made those chases.
Purdy's a gunslinger too, though. Purdy's a gunslinger too. Don't be fooled by what you see, bro. Purdy is a gunslinger, bitch. Is why he's throwing a pick every single day in practice. Like, he's going to throw that rock too.
Okay, but if we want to talk about training camp, the one thing I will say, they actually said your defensive line was killing us. So it was like the first day, but after that, I was just happy. Honestly, for me, it's like a lot of Raider fans that I seen took it as, oh yeah, we believe in beating them. Right? They tried to smash it. For me, it was just a thing for seeing from what our defense was doing. You know what I'm saying? Like the fact that our defense was being aggressive, our defense was finally doing things that we need to do. Yeah, and that is something that is something that's going to actually make me very upset because I actually told my friend this the other day. I was like, let us fuck around and even have a top 15 defense this year. I'm gonna be mad as fuck. Because all of a sudden now you bring in a whole new quarterback, you bring in a whole new everything else, and then now you want to upgrade the defense.
Yeah, Derek Carr is definitely better than Jimmy G.
That's for true. Like we let him walk out the door.
Derek Carr is better than Jimmy G.
He is.
Hands down,
100%. It's not even close.
He is. But to get back to your point, Jack, I feel like Trey, he's going to be battling for the 2 or 3. He's going to be on the roster, and I don't think his development is over. Just like I don't think Brock's development's over. Brock can get better.
You guys don't have time. You guys don't have time to wait for Trey Lance anymore.
I understand that, but I just don't think he's not to the point where he's unfixable. And if he's going to be on the roster, it'll be the 3rd because Darnold looked better than him. It just is what it is. Darnold's
and you also got to think. You also got to think about it. What they dealt with quarterbacks last year. If they can hold on to 3, they're gonna do it. You know what I'm saying?
They're gonna have to.
So this guy Allen might be better than him, and he's way cheaper. Like, why keeping this guy? Travis, you can stop me because I know you want to jump in too. But
I just think people are slaves of the moment.
Exactly.
Okay.
I've been in training camps and Trey Lance has looked the best quarterback in training camp. Now, granted, it's only training camp, but to Jasper's point, like Trey hasn't been given enough time. The only way to learn is to be on the field, and he hasn't been on the field enough, period. I don't care if you're talking about Jalen Hurts, looked like trash his first year. Josh Allen looked like trash his first year. Look at Trevor Lawrence's first year. 17 receptions and 12 touchdowns. Like, I don't care. It's super rare to be a Patrick Mahomes. You're talking about anomalies, and he even sat behind Alex Smith for a year. Okay. Now, there's missing context on Trey Lance. The Niners did not trade all those picks for Trey Lance. They traded all those picks to have an opportunity to get a quarterback. They didn't even know who they were going to get. Right after they made that trade.
That is very true.
Yeah, they
on them. Yeah, exactly. So they really only got rid of.
They just said it's hard to look at quarterbacks, top quarterbacks, when you're at the I forget what we had, 15th pick.
11. I think they're like at 11. They're at like 11. Sitting at 11.
Either way, they just knew they weren't going to get someone who was the cream of the crop. All right.
I understand.
So they made that trade just to have an opportunity to grab a quarterback. Okay. And then they chose Trey Lance. And they chose Trey Lance as a project. That's why Jimmy G was still under contract. They knew Jimmy G was going to start the next year. Now it's the media and people like us who made it seem like they drafted Trey to be the next Patrick Mahomes. And people even compared him to Patrick Mahomes, which is already setting him up for failure. What are we talking about? You're comparing him to arguably the best. You know, people argue he's the greatest quarterback of all time already.
I hope when you understand what I'm saying, that's what you guys drafted him for. I mean that was in the wrong. You know what I'm saying? They're not drafting him to give him the same development that he is, like knowing that he's a project, and people are wanting him to be that. And that's what I'm saying. And that's why I said, like, I feel the same way.
Last year, if he didn't get injured in the second game in the first drive.
But the fucking play calling in that play is ridiculous. If you're running, you shouldn't be running your quarterback up the middle like he's a fullback.
I agree with
you.
Let's
be honest. Let's be honest here.
That's a different topic. That's a separate topic, but I do agree with you.
I understand.
That was my point. If he wasn't given an opportunity to play bad like all those other guys, because they went to horrible teams. Justin Fields, Lawrence, all of them were on horrible teams. They were able to play awful, all that shit, and get reps.
Even Justin Fields was low key trash last year. His throwing stats was ridiculous. His
throwing stats
he ran the ball like crazy. Yeah, he ran the ball like crazy, but that was it. You know what I'm saying?
It takes time to develop, man. It takes time to develop.
That's why I would hate that if you guys cut him and didn't give him a chance to develop. Because honestly, if Kyle Shanahan could do that with his offenses, he should be able to.
But because of the business and the way it's looking, like JJ said, like he has a possibility to be a casualty. Yep. Now, was it the smartest decision? No, but if you look at the data on elite quarterbacks, Josh Allen they were talking about offing him after his second year. It wasn't until his third year where he exploded, and Josh Allen was playing every game. You got Trey Lance; he's played 5 technically. In 5 NFL games now, and he's going into his third year. Like, it's not even fair to rate him yet.
So the Shanahan offense, I mean, he wants somebody, right here, like throwing to specific spots on a timing, right? Like on timing. Can Trey do that? Do you think that's something he can do, as opposed to making things like freestyling basically, and making things happen with his legs? Is that something?
There's not enough data. There's not enough time. I feel like no one should be able to weigh in on what Trey is. And he might be horrible. He might be the greatest of all time. I just don't think anyone has been given, including Trey Lance, the time to see what he actually is. So I don't want to say nothing good about him, but I also don't want to say nothing bad about him.
I will say this though, Jack. He's definitely not, in my eyes, he's also not the dual threat we thought he was. He's not that.
He's not as fast as we thought.
Not very fast. He's not very. I know he is coming off the ankle surgery, but it's not a ligament. I broke my ankle far worse than he did, and I came back. I still when you bone heals, you're fine. So he's just not quick-footed like people thought. I think people thought he was more of the 4.5, 4.6 range. I think he's more on the 4.8, 4.9. Like he's not gonna
he ran at 4.9 too.
Yeah, exactly. So he was running cats over in North Dakota. He wasn't really running away from anybody. You know what I mean? If he gets downhill and gets going, I'm sure he can run away from people. But he's not the dual threat. And I think Kyle kind of realized that because, as you've seen, Travis, I'm sure you've noticed this. either in all the camp highlights and in that first game. All the zone read shit that they were doing for his first two, that shit is gone. Like no zone reads, no none of that. So I think Kyle and them they've readjusted it now, and now are trying to see how he's going to play within the pocket, which I still don't think is the right way to use him because he's much more comfortable being flushed out, naked boots, rollouts. Most of his touchdowns and his early success have come off that big boot where he comes off the boot and he still has a rocket arm. Like that's what he can excel at. And I do think, to your point, Jack, I do think he can hit those quick timing throws. He can hit that deep end. He hit a few of those deep ends.
He has a great arm.
Towards the end of that second half, he hit Chris Conley over the middle a few different times. Once he started to get his wind and get his legs underneath him, like bro hadn't played in so long.
He has a great arm. Even that touch at the end of the second quarter when he threw that he attempted a touchdown pass in the back corner towards the pylon. That it was incomplete. It was good defense, but the pass was beautiful. It was phenomenal. But it wasn't.
I think that's it. But that's a luxury to have. I wish we had that luxury. To even have the option of some type of quarterback.
Hey, also while we're comparing Brock and Trey, I want to let you guys know I've stood side by side both of them at the same time. Okay, Brock Purdy is not as little as people think. He's built. He's like Husky, like a baseball player. Like he's
Trey's
not.
Huge, I met Trey in LA. I met Trey in LA last year at some random event. Trey's huge. Like I'm 6'3", and he made me. I'm like,
no, you're talking about
tall. Yeah. Trey's a big dude. Yeah, he's a big.
I'm talking about size.
Yeah. Okay.
They're comparable, like the same. Trey is just taller.
Yeah.
But Brock is just as mobile as him. It just looks different. Trey, Trey's got that. He's got some swag.
I'll give Brock the edge on the twitchiness, Jack. Like I will say that. Jack, Brock is.
All right, Niner fans, you guys hear this? They believe in Trey still. So y'all still locked in with Trey. Don't give up on him. You heard it here. Two faithfuls here are telling y'all, do not give up on Trey yet. Obviously, there's 2 more preseason games for him to prove himself. And I think, like I texted a couple of my Niner fan friends, this is a big preseason for him. I think you guys, obviously he's not going to play with the starting line, but you still want to see a little bit more, right? I think you guys can agree to that. You want to see a little bit more before the preseason is over. You guys agree with that at least?
Yeah, 100%. Okay. But even after the preseason, whether he could play absolutely lights out amazing, and it still wouldn't be enough time to really judge him yet.
I feel like this next game, if they let him start again, they should at least give him the starting line for like at least a drive. You know what I'm saying? Just to let's see what he could really do with at least a little bit of time. And you know what I'm saying? It's not gonna hurt to do one drive.
Yeah, but they're not gonna do
that. At this point, Trey should get all the reps. At this point, Trey should get all the reps. They already know what Darnold is. They know what Darnold is. They know what Allen is. If they're not gonna play, Trey literally should play a fucking entire game. Like if I had it my way, Kyle, what are you doing? Like if you're trying to figure out what this dude is, give Trey every single rep. Period. Like put Brock in bubble wrap, let Trey fucking go. Like let him do whatever the fuck. And if I'm Trey, if I'm honest, like the only thing that was also making me mad about the game, if I'm gonna keep it a complete thou wow, like right now, keep it a buck. Like if I'm Trey, bro, I get it. Like everybody's coming down and you're gonna be nitpicked. You haven't played in 360 days, you're rusty, you're nervous, all the shit. But, bro, you don't want to be sitting there 20, 30 years from now with a beer belly talking to your boys at the barbershop like, what could have been, and I was a number 3 overall pick, and I'm a bust now, but I still got bullets left in the chamber. Bro, empty the clip, bro. Like, there is no time to be like, I'm afraid to throw a pick, or I'm afraid to do this, I'm afraid to do that. Like, I get it. Your line was trash, all these things, but when I was watching back the film, he had opportunities. He had dudes open. He was definitely just gun shy and trigger happy, and I know he feels like he's under so much scrutiny. Everything has to be perfect right now. But if I'm him, you got to empty the clip. But this is your life, bro. This is your life.
I don't think he wants to be on the Niners.
That could be, but then showcase what you got.
He does not look like he enjoys himself. He does not look like he's having fun. He looks like, damn, this is where I'm at. Like, I think he's
weird. Wow, like that's weird. That's like the best situation for any incoming quarterback.
It's not for him though, for his life.
But the Niners are choosing Brock Purdy. That's just what it is.
Yeah, well, at this point, yeah. At this point, yeah, of course.
To just even if the Niners can get a 3rd round draft pick for him, just at this point, just take, because the Niners actually they kill in the 3rd round with their draft picks. They have elite 3rd round draft picks.
Take it right now. Huh? They would take a 3rd round for him right now. They would.
Easy.
And I would bet that someone like the Falcons would give up a 3rd round pick for him. Like you can't tell me Desmond Ritter's the answer either.
Right now, Desmond Ritter.
Yeah, then you can't tell me Desmond Ritter is the
Yeah.
But I say all that to say is Trey just needs a fresh start. Just like Aaron Rodgers looked like he hated to be in Green Bay. He didn't want to be there. Now he's over there with the Jets. He's got iced out chains. He's having hella fun. He's laughing. What's the little quarterback they just overran for him?
Zach
Wilson.
Yeah, Zach Wilson. He's actually coaching Zach Wilson. He never did that with Jordan Love. Like he looks like he's having a great time in life. Trey Lance looks like, bruh, give me the out of here, man. And they should just do it.
Nobody's ever gonna love him like the first team that drafted him. So he should just sit tight and get it together. All right, so this game, man, this Raider-Niner game it's a preseason. Obviously when the Raiders were in the Bay, this was one of those games that used to get out of hand. It's so much history. For some reason, man, like it's always an event, and they even had to cancel the game for a few years when the game was in the Bay. What's your memories of that game? Even in regular season, Niner Raider games in the Bay.
My first game in Black Hole was for sure it was a preseason game, probably like 2001, 2002. I think the rivalry is always, first of all, the rivalry has always been a rivalry because of proximity, never because of, I would say, it's just really
it's really nothing else to do with the fact that we about 30 miles from each other.
Exactly, that's really all it is, man. And it's never been, because we've never faced each other in the Super Bowl, so it's never been, anything.
And that would be lit. I wish that would happen.
Would root for that, man. But I think one of my best memories was, I would say, 2002, the 2002 game. I think we won on an overtime. Jose Cortez field goal. I don't know if you remember that one, Travis, but T.O. was going crazy. I think Jerry Rice had just went to the Raiders. Like those were like when the Battle of the Bay was cracking. Early 2000s. Yeah. We both had good teams. I think the Raiders went. That was the one year we both went to the playoffs. That was the last time the Raiders went to the playoffs. I believe it was that 2002 one.
We're never good at the same time, which is
that was a rare year. I was just watching. I'm gonna send y'all the link. There's a little mini YouTube series documentary. I don't know if y'all seen it, the rivalry of the Battle of the Bay, and it talks about all the shit that happened. It talks about it was banned for a while.
I'm pretty sure that was the year we went to the Super Bowl.
It was, that was the Bucs.
We got our ass kicked by the Bucs.
T.O. was cooking Charles Wilson that year.
He was cooking the shit up that day.
And we won and that was the year we lost. We also lost to the Bucs that year. We both lost to the Bucs. I think we beat the Giants with a crazy comeback. We beat the Giants that year. Yeah, y'all had Gannon going crazy. Man, good times, bro.
Yeah, see, I mean. Go ahead, Rosh.
It's always good. It's always good when you can enjoy it with real fans. You know what I'm saying? And this is my y'all know me. You know what I'm saying? I rock with my fans, but when you have people that genuinely just enjoy the rivalry for what it is, the fact of proximity, and don't make it like personal, it's like that's what it is. And people that's been around watching the game for a long time, you know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing. Because the thing about for me, it's like, and honestly, it happens to every team that starts winning. Let's just all be honest about this. The people that jump on the bandwagon that never knew nothing about it. Nothing about football, and always have to like they have so much to say. And it's like, bro, be humble with your team. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the best part about football. Like the humble side of knowing that your team is good. Like I know your team is good. You ain't gotta tell me every fucking 5 minutes. Like your team suck and my team is great. You know what I'm saying? We've had a battle. We've had a straight battle. And it's been great. It's 8-8 right now. You know what I'm saying? Our series is 8-8. You know what I'm saying? So it's always been. We had our years where we were stumping. The same thing goes. But it's the crazy shit. How I've always noticed is the funniest thing. Like even last year, I thought it was gonna happen when we almost beat y'all. Every year we're good. You guys would beat us, and every day you guys are good, we would beat y'all. So like that's why last year I was walking around like, we for sure finna win this game. Like I didn't care who it was. And then when it went to overtime, I was like, oh shit, bro, this is really about to happen. And then when we lost, I was pissed.
I was there.
That was one of the best games last year.
It was a great game. That was a great game.
No, it was a great game.
Great game. It was.
That stadium was so fire.
You were there, Travis?
Yeah, I was at that game. That stadium is amazing. It is. Like it's way better than Levi's.
What happened with Levi's, man? I've been there. I actually haven't been I did go to the Raider you guys blew us out. I think it was like maybe 2016 around there. You guys blew us out on like a Thursday night game.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was
but
Nick Mullins. Nick Mullins,
Nick
Monday Night.
That was
Mullins,
the Nick
last,
Mullins. I'm saying that's what we were
You know,
good. We
that
went to
crazy
the
one.
playoffs that year.
Yeah.
but
We
what
that
happened?
was
What
I think
happened to
that was
Levi's?
the year
I
we went
need
to the
to know.
playoffs and they beat us. I was
I don't know,
pissed.
man. I feel like the contractors they just botched it or something, man. Like even so right now the current visiting side that was built to be the home side. So the Niners locker room is actually behind the visitor side. And then they started playing and they realized they were getting beat down by the sun and the organization decided they were going to switch sides. So now every game the Niners have to walk all the way around the stadium to the opposite side to their new home side. I don't know to have a stadium be that expensive and not to think of
Bro,
something so
it's
simple.
it's because y'all built it in Great America's parking lot, bro. Like
I
you
mean,
you
they
need a
That shit
bigger
leaving the
That was,
city.
lot.
that
nah,
was
that's not
in
what
the
it is.
San
They just
Francisco
I don't know.
game.
The contractors were on something. I don't know.
It's not enough space. Honestly, man, I feel like they should have took that money and upgraded Candles where I was at, bro. That shit was I love that
Absolutely,
place.
absolutely.
My mom's a Niner fan. You know what I'm saying? And she used
I
to
think the
drive for
Niners are going
Sanchez
back
back in the day,
to the
going to
city.
that shit. Shit was
I hope
beautiful.
so. I hope so.
Yeah, me too. I would
Last
hope
one.
so. 'Cause
Last one before we get out of here, man. So I need you guys' outlook on the season. Obviously, we've covered a lot on the quarterback side. You guys do have one of the best defenses. Best running game, one of the best running games too. You guys, Christian McCaffrey back there, and Shanahan dialing it up. So, what do you see from this year's team? And are you going to make it 4 out of 5 years of the NFC Championship game?
I think so, but that's if Brock can stay healthy, because I'm not gonna lie, I lack trust in Sam Darnold. That guy's a turnover machine. So
can it? Go ahead, Jasper. I asked my little question
I
right
think he
after.
looked okay. He looked okay. That was one of the bright sides I took out of the game. Him and some of the other second and third string receivers I really liked. I hope to God we don't see a situation where Sam Donald's in the game to even worry about it, whether they look or not. But yeah, it's gonna be tough, man. The NFC is obviously wide open outside of Philly.
and
Philly's gonna be
Dallas,
tough. Can't wait to see them week 10.
Hmm.
Unfinished business. I fucking hate the Eagles right now. I don't know why I hate them. I hate them more than the Rams, the Seahawks. Probably their fans. They
That's
talk a lot of shit for how that fucking
yeah.
game went last year. Fuck Philly.
Hey,
What else? I don't know if I can cuss on here like that.
hey,
But
my boy
You
finna
good?
be hella bad. My boy finna be hella bad. I got a
I
couple
feel his
Philly
passion
boys
though.
that be listening.
I
yeah,
feel him. I feel
I
him.
feel it. Hey,
I'll draft
listen, I
people
feel it
players
though.
in fantasy
that was so
football,
tough
But
though. Like to say, I'm such a one game at a time. I don't even want to think about even just putting us in because it's so hard to get there. That's why it's been so heartbreaking when you get so close. And Jaquaski starts dropping interceptions in the Rams games, and bro, like that
That's the
just
one.
happened. You know what I mean? Like this is
can
the
so
last
but to
man.
answer your question, JJ, the Niners are going to be in the Super Bowl. Vegas odds right now, the Vegas odds suggest that the Super Bowl will be Kansas City Chiefs and the San Francisco 49ers again.
Bro, I hate this shit. It's cringeworthy. I hate hearing shit like that, bro. Like I just want to watch. I just want Pittsburgh week 1, bro. That's all I'm at right now.
Whoa,
No, I'm with you 100%, but they asked the question,
whoa.
I'm the answer. We're going to the Super
Right.
Bowl.
Look.
No,
Come on,
I'm
Travis.
Bang, bang, not a gang,
I'm
let's
gonna
go.
say this. Okay, well, look, hey,
bang, bang,
I get
bang.
that you saying that, but you have to take that was a bold statement.
Hey,
I mean, that's
Hey,
Vegas
that's
odds.
Vegas' odds.
Just
That
saying
wasn't
Vegas.
my
I
stat.
respect it. I respect it.
But it's hey, honestly, but you have to just say Philly's a monster over there, man. They
Yeah,
didn't
they are.
lose
But
much.
Philly
that's
got
all
worse
we're gonna
though.
go
We got
to.
better.
We did,
Did
and we
your
Philly
got
got
secondary
worse.
get
We
better?
lost like 5 starters on
Did you
defense. That defense is
did your
not going to
did
be
you
the same.
did your
Philly.
secondary get better?
Philly's beatable. Did our
Our
secondary?
secondary get better. Our secondary's never been our strong. We have the best linebacking core in the NFL. I trust our safeties. Hufungo's all pro in his second year.
Shout out
And
to
I
our
like Brown.
defensive line,
I like
which was
our Brown.
already
Yeah.
great, just got even better with Hargrave. And that's going to be disgusting.
Yeah, I like our chances,
That's
man. I really do. I like our chances in in the NFC. Outside of Philly, nobody else really scares me personally. You know,
NFC's
Man,
trash.
As
them
you
Derek
should.
Carr Saints, gonna be a problem for y'all. Come on now, come
Hey,
on.
are you trolling
hey.
right now? You don't believe
Michael
that. I
Thomas
know
will
you
tear
believe
his ACL by week 3.
that. Can we talk Warriors?
Um,
Can we shift gear? Can we talk Warriors? I
What
haven't
you
really
mean?
got
You
a chance to
want to?
talk to you. I haven't even got a chance to really talk to you about the
Go
deal.
ahead, jump on the Chris Paul situation. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
because
Yeah. What's up?
I ran into
I want to
somebody,
hear.
a coworker at work today or yesterday, and he's also from the Baby Warrior fan. We were just talking about it. We hadn't really talked about it. Last time we had talked was right before Bob Myers had stepped away, and so there
Yeah.
was a lot of things that had to happen. So last time I had seen him, a lot of dominoes have fallen, and now. So my only issue with the CP trade is, I was big Jordan, like big Jordan Poole. I was probably Jordan Poole's biggest supporter, biggest fan through thick and thin, through the horrible shooting nights, through the punch, all the shit. Like I got it, bro. Like I hated losing somebody that's a young ascending all star. He should be an all star next year easily. And it was the haul. It was the haul what we got. What we got back for that is my only issue. I got the contract situation. I get the money. I get he's gonna help the second team. I get shit. I get he's gonna unlock fucking Kuminga and probably Moody. CP is still a dog and he's a problem. Like I cannot wait actually to see what it looks like with the 3 guard lineup, him with the second unit, shit, him and Draymond bullying like it's gonna be a lot. I do like it. It's just I hated losing Jordan Poole. I really hated it. And I don't know, Jack, if you were down on Jordan Poole as much as all the other people were in the playoffs and how bad he played and just I know the Draymond shit and the mood in the locker room. Like I get all that. I guess it just wasn't fixable. You know what I mean? And then for the money side of it, like
Yeah.
Those are the two things. Yeah.
I think honestly, this
how do
is
you
the
think
one thing to
CP
say, and I hate to say this, but it was one of them gotta go situations, and to keep the rest of the team happy, the people that's been with Draymond, we've been doing this with him for years. It's like Poole, yes, he is he has a chance to be great, but he
great?
also has a chance to be not. Because do you not remember the way he started to play,
Yeah,
it kind of got overconfident. You know what I'm saying? Like he stopped kind of making the right decisions. He just wanted to make them all.
turnover
Because
machine.
because at the end of
yeah,
the day, when you watching Steph Curry out there doing some shit that you think he ain't
yeah.
thinking of, you gonna try it too. You know what I'm saying?
Good
But at the end
point.
of the day, you're not there in your career. You're not there. You still got to keep trying to make the right decisions. And I
That's
think
kind of
that's
what
kind of
made him
what
who he
happened.
was in the finals the year before, though. Like he was doing those
But
things. We don't
but
win those
but
finals without Jordan Poole. Period.
That's
we
a fact.
don't, but I still think last year he was making better decisions than he was this year, because last year a lot of those points and those shots and the things he was making, that was what he was supposed to do in that time, because he was either
Right.
open or he made the right move or he was able to get there. But this time I felt like there was just times that he had bad shooting nights, but I think he really just, there was sometimes he was just doing too much, and you can
Yeah.
see it. You look at him like, come on, bro, like
Yeah.
what
That
are
shot
you
in,
doing?
Yeah, but
Like
people say the
like
same about Draymond too.
yeah, that shot in the
huh?
Lakers game.
People say the same
Yeah.
exact thing about Draymond.
Yeah, but defensively, Draymond is never a
That's true
liability,
too.
and he
That's a
makes
tough
that
part.
Yeah,
difference.
but Draymond is
And
not going
and
to go drop
and
35 points.
hey, he's had
Where you
23.
at with it, Jack?
Yeah, he did. He gets one every in a blue moon. But Jordan Poole's elite. I'm with Jasper. That year he ascended and they won the championship. I was telling my roommates that like probably the biggest Warriors diehard in the world, and I was advocating for Jordan Poole. I'm like, bro, that's the number 2. Clay's, after all his injuries, Jordan Poole's that guy now, and he became that dude. But then that last year, after like first 2 months, I'm like, this is not the same Jordan Poole. And it's the reports already came out after that slap.
Oh yeah, it was
The whole
over.
locker room,
I told
it
you
was
it
it
was
was
over.
gone.
It was
Draymond
Because that's
lost his
it's
leadership role.
There's no repairing that.
like
Like I've said before,
no
it's no repairing that. Steve Kerr came out and said, man, like we became one dimensional of how we scored. And I think that's what Chris Paul brings. He gives him a different chance of how to score because he's gonna slow it down. You know what I mean? He's gonna control everything. And that's the biggest part where we couldn't do. Sometimes we would just be like out of control last year, bro. Like
bruh.
what are we doing, bro? Like, can we call it
We
time
were
out? Like, take a deep
What
breath.
were we like 29? Were we 29th out of 30, 32 teams in
We just get
turnovers
out
or
of
something like
control
that?
sometimes.
We was
That's
like
bad.
it was, and that's like the thing that's what I'm saying. Like, and Chris Paul bringing that element. And honestly, at the end of the day, let's be honest, our team we are there, but we ain't got some just how the Niners don't have the windows there, but it's closing. Our window is closing. And if we don't take advantage of it now, bringing Chris Paul is kind of like bringing when we bring Sean Livingston in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like somebody to run a different pace, somebody to slow down, bring a OG game to the game, because you kids can't run around and do this shit all goddamn day. You know what I'm saying? And there's other players.
His mid range is still crazy. His mid range
is still crazy. Come on, man, Chris Paul. You see what? Come on, DeAndre Jordan was an all-star. Let's talk about it. Talk about it.
I'm trying to talk myself into it. I'll get there before training camp starts, but I definitely think it'll work itself out. I do. I think he's gonna help Kuminga, especially like Jasper said. He's gonna help Kuminga a lot.
All you need is this guy right here.
30.
That's all you need.
How do they play together, though? How do they play together, though? That's my only thing. I know Jordan Poole and Steph could play together, but Jordan Poole was a slasher. That's why it could work.
Because Stephen Curry is the most unselfish player in the game.
And he knows how to move off the ball. And at the end of the day, if you know how to move off the ball, you won't get the ball.
Yeah.
Imagine. Look, put it this way, Chris Paul. See what Chris Paul did. Yeah, that's the thing.
How are they gonna hide both of them, Jack? Come on.
I don't think we don't have to hide Steph. This is not too
not hide. That's disrespectful to Steph. You're right. Steph is definitely evolved in moving his feet, staying in front of his guy a lot better than he was back in the day. So I would say
for sure.
Yeah, and playing physical.
It's the last 4 minutes, to be honest with you, because the rest of the lineups are going to.
You don't think they're going to play together that much? You don't think they're going to play them together?
It's the first 5 minutes. The first 5 minutes, Looney's going to come in and sub out Chris Paul, and they're going to rock with the same group.
So you think we're starting though?
I do. I think he starts.
He's going to start.
He's going to start, and then obviously Steph gets his break at the last minute or the second period. Chris Paul comes in with Kuminga.
So they're going to go.
Didn't we talk about we need the ball? Why are we going to start them, man? If we
Draymond at the 5, Wiggins at the 4, Clay at the 3, Steph at the 2.
For 4 minutes, 5 minutes. Yes.
Hey,
I think it's going to be more so.
Return to his defensive form.
I think so too.
He's working out actually.
Right now,
Clay is
everything personal, and he's working his tail off right now. He's about to come back with a vengeance.
Y'all saw the black off. Y'all saw the black.
Every announcer.
Yeah.
I seen that.
Highlights. Oh my God, his legs are back.
You know what happens contract year for guys. You know what happens contract year.
I just
grind
don't know Wiggins at the 4 for those first 5. Wiggins at the 4.
Wait, hey, hold on. Don't try to play Wiggins like he don't be bodying up. The other reason why we won that championship, is because he was bodying up. There was a lot of people that was trying to body him, and he was.
There was an argument he was MVP.
Standing up. You know what I'm saying?
So they're gonna go to the death lineup the first 5 minutes.
First 5 minutes, and Looney's coming in for Chris Paul. He'll sit down, get Clay or Steph at the beginning of the second, and we rock it.
Honestly, I kind of think it's the opposite. I think we're going to get first 5 minutes of the regular lineup, and then I think Steph is going to sit down. Chris Paul is going to come in, and then they're going to run something different. Yes, because after that quarter is over, you can play Steph the whole second, and Chris Paul ain't got to come back into the game to the end of the second to run that lineup that you're talking about. And then after that, starting the third quarter, we go back to it because we need to keep Chris Paul as fresh as we can to the end of the season. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it needs to be more smarter because you got to give him a chance to work with the subs when they're coming in. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, at least you're getting the game fast. We're not going to keep you out there long. We'd rather give Steph, because giving Steph that break after because Steph, you know what it is. He starts off 5 minutes hot. Them first 5 minutes, we coming up jacking up shots. We already put up 100 for the game started. So we coming up, we putting up more, and then we take him out the game and give him a real rest because he never really gets one. You know what I'm saying? If you really think about it, this nigga played all the time. Like if he wasn't in the game, we were struggling. And he didn't make no goddamn sense.
He doesn't want to come on. And he already made that very clear in his first press conference.
See, but at the end of the day, your name is not coach. Your name is player. So if you want to hold out, that's on you. That's your bag. That's your money. You know what I'm saying? You come here and play. That. You want to win the ship, or you want to come in here and be a little bitch? I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's really what it is. You want to win this chip, or you want to come be a bitch? Let's be honest here, nigga. You Steph's son. Remember that.
The last thing, I just wanted to appreciate you guys, man, for jumping in, talking all Niners. Again, this is you guys got a lot of storylines for the year, and we'll see. You know, Travis said Super Bowl in Vegas. We're gonna see. Jasper said one game at a time. So again, we're gonna see how this goes.
Hey, I wish y'all the best of luck though, because I want to see y'all in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys, man. Thank you.
If it happens, that'll be classic. But hey, like I said, man, I know. Hey, we gotta get something. But I appreciate y'all coming through. You know, it's always love. Hey, this episode was great. Hey, but you know, I always like to say, remember, always I tell you, put yourself first, because you're the one that most matters the most. And this is No More Timeouts, and we checking out. Peace.
Peace, y'all.